The last time you guys saw me was we were playing Marvel Rivals in Dynasty Warriors Origins. That night we played Marvel Rivals, if you guys might remember. It was me, it was Mouse, it was Connor, it was Buff Pup, it was all Ruben, Shai was there. It was great. It was really fun. And eagle-eyed watchers will know that at the end of the stream, I had to like run. I was like, "Hey guys, that was really great. I gotta go now because it's I really gotta use the bathroom." And I did like a speedy outro. Little did I know how bad things were gonna begin from that one simple moment. Thought it was just really gotta go to the bathroom. Really thought that was it. I thought it was an explosive exit. So it was, I ended the stream and used the restroom, and I thought, well, that's not right. Hopefully that's nothing. And it was something. That night, it hit me hard and it hit me fast. So every single, about every 30 minutes of the first night, I got sweaty, I got a fever, I had to use the bathroom constantly. There was no escape.
Happy to see you.
So the first night, I was laying in bed, soaked in sweat, wondering how much shit does a man hold? So I ended up going to, the next day, I made my first big, huge mistake. I really, really screwed this one up because Yuki was at work and I thought I was hydrating enough. I thought that I was drinking enough water. I thought that I had enough Pocari Sweat. I was like, I'm good. What I forgot was, one, I wasn't drinking enough. Number two is I was sweating an insane amount in bed. Like, the actual bed was soaked, and I'd have to go change clothes, and I thought, I'm fine. So I was drinking, like, one little tiny Pocari Sweat, and then getting some rest, and then, like, shitting, and then sweating, and all of that night, I've had the biggest migraine I've ever had in my entire life. I did not know that dehydration headaches were a thing. I did not know that that was even remotely a pain that you could experience. I had this incredible migraine that I could not do anything to get rid of. There was no water, and I realized, I was like, oh, it was water. Oh, shit. It was the water, wasn't it? It was the water. So I tried to rehydrate. It didn't matter. I had like just a brutal headache. And again, the thing that sucks about having horrific diarrhea, if I'm being honest, is for me, let me try to figure out how much I want to share. It's not the poop. It's not. It's like you would think it was the poop, but it's not. For me, it's like this sounds, I'm just going to tell you because look, I'm 41. I don't care. I don't even care. I would say it's the pain from wiping so much. And I should have used the Japanese bidet more. I should have used the Japanese bidet more. But I didn't. I didn't do that. I didn't use the Japanese bidet at all. Because, okay, this was also probably wrong. So the bidet, what I was afraid of, here it is. So hear me out. Is that my wife being pregnant, I was afraid that this was possibly a bacterial disease that spread with like fecal matter or germs or things that I touched. So in the bathroom, I had a wet tissues. And then after I used the bathroom, I would wipe everything down with alcohol wipes. Not me. Like flushing the toilet does that. You'd think so, but I felt like this was a bit safer. I didn't want to leave anything to chance. So I would use the alcohol wipes to clean the door, the machine, everything, the whole toilet, all the stuff around there. Then after that, oh, look at this guy. Yuki said you guys needed him. On day 3, we had a complication. The complication is that the stool was no longer what I would consider a healthy color. And it was at that time that I got a little nervous that there may be something internally that is wrong. So I went to the doctor and he said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, this doesn't look right." And he said, "Okay, why don't you give me a sample and come back tomorrow? And if there's anything that changes, let me know." And I said, "Okay, man, thank you." So I went home that night and oh my God, it hurt even more. It was so, every 10 minutes, my stomach was doing somersaults. It was absolutely brutal. I could not stand. I could not sit. I could not move. I went to the bathroom 6 times at the doctor's and I was only there for like an hour and 20 minutes. So I was in there for forever. So after that, I went back the next day, and the best way I could describe it was the stool had turned to a jelly, and it was now black. Look, that's just bad. That's not good. It's just not good. And so I was in immense pain. I had been up all night. I had been absolutely just roiling in pain. I hadn't played a video game. I hadn't played any sort of I bought Shawshank Redemption and I watched it like 6 times, and I went back the next day to the hospital, and this is where things were really tough for me because I got to do experience with this. So I go in there and I go, "Hey," and he goes, "Why did you want to see me again?" I go, "Well, you told me to come back if there was a change in the stool, and I feel like this is really bad." And he goes, "Okay." And I was like, "How long is it going to take for those samples to tell me what's wrong with me?" He goes, "It'll take about a week." And I said, I just feel like maybe it's something really bad." And he was like, "Well, I can check right now." And I was like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." And he was like, "Okay, just take off your pants." And I was, "I'm sorry, what? You said you want me to check right now?" I was, you want me to check the samples? No, just, I go, nah. And then I literally stood up. Like I stood up and I thought, well, let's not rush to anything. Let's just wait a minute. Okay, wait, just wait. And he said, well, he was like, "Nurse, get the pillow." And he's like, "Just lay down here and just don't look." And I go, wait, is this a, he's like, "I could also take blood, but it'll take longer." And I go, "Well, what do you want to do?" He goes, "Well, I'm just going to take out a little bit of a sample so that I can take a look at it." And I thought, well, that's not really necessary. And he said, "But you said you," and I was like, "Let me call my wife." So I called Yuki, and she didn't answer the phone. So at the doctor's, I go, "Oh, so wait, you're just gonna do one of these and it's gonna be quick?" He goes, "Yeah." And I was like, and then I made my mistake. I go, has a kid done it? Like, are they okay with doing it? Because in my mind, if a 10-year-old can go through a procedure, then a 41-year-old man can too. It's like, if a grade schooler can go through treatment, why can't I? And he was like, "Yeah, it's easy. Everybody can do it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I sit on the bed and they were like, "Here." And then this nurse comes in who's not 65. It's totally unfair. And I said this. I said like this. I was standing up. Like I was standing up as if like a poisonous pit viper had been added to the, and I go, "Well, wait, he's like, "It's only going to take me a second." I go, "Well, my fear is that I had a lot of I've had a lot of business down there the past 4 days, and I just don't know if it's what I would consider like, you know, it's not a 5-star hotel. He's like, what? I'm like, well, you know, I mean, it's just, I don't think this is what I want to show you. It's like he's like, oh, it's okay. I'm a doctor. And I go, yeah, but, and then he was like, nurse. And then like, oh, of course, they got like the hottest nurse who's like 23 interning. And she's like, here's a towel. Please cover your penis. And I'm like, oh, no. And so I'm holding the towel. And then they're like, look to the wall. And I was like, no, please. So like now I'm like leaning on. I'm like on my side. I'm on my side staring at the wall. And he's like, I need to see more of your anal area. And I'm like, stop. So I was like, what do you mean? And so he's like, and then like the nurse had to like help me go like completely prone to the side. And then I was like, this is so terrible. It's not, and like, I'm squirming. I'm nervous. I'm staring at the wall. And then he shoved his finger up my ass. Oh my f***ing God, that is painful. I had no idea how painful that was. I didn't think it was going to be painful. I'm just sitting there waiting, hoping, begging, and he's like searching. And I was like, well, what the fuck are you even looking for, man? I've been shitting easily for 4 days. Just get it out. And then like it hurts so bad that like I react and I bang my forehead off of the hospital wall. And then finally he like pops it out and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm not having fun. And so it was so painful. And then he was like, oh yeah, you're fine. I said, excuse me? And I can hear the snapping of the gloves. So after that, I had to lay on my side still as like the nurse like wiped me like a baby. And I'm just sitting there and she's like, okay, now you can put your clothes back on. And I was like, this is so bad. I hate all of this. All of this is just, I don't want to do this. And I said, thank you guys. And he goes, yeah, you know, if you have any more bleeding or if you have like a fever, please come back. And I said, okay, thanks. So I go to pay. Do you know how much this cost? To have him shove his finger up my asshole was in USD, in United States dollars, $1.60. That's crazy. I paid $1,000 in Vegas. I mean, I love you, honey. Certainly not. It was $1.60. And I was like, can I just make a regularly scheduled appointment? Hey, my ass hurts again. Can you check that for me? The other thing that I've felt since then is I have an unscratchable itch where he was digging around in my ass, and I hate it. I hate it. Like, why did he do that? Why? It's like, I just feel there's something. And it wants more.
But did you get 2 people participating in Vegas and also wipe down after?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going back in there. Is the itch inside or outside? If it was outside, I wouldn't mention it. I've also just been drinking water.
Hi, Mr. Macy. This is Dr. Yamamoto's office. The doctor was wondering if you've seen his wedding ring. If so, can you return it to the office?
That's so bad. That's so bad. That's the itch. There it is.